Welcome to A Magical Life, Health, Wealth and Weight Loss. I'm your host, Magic Barclay, lead practitioner at Holistic Natural Health Australia and #1 best-selling author. In this podcast, I aim to give you practical tips on how to accelerate and sustain your health, increase your financial, spiritual and emotional wealth, and to look at something that haunts many of us needlessly, weight loss. Now, sit back and enjoy, because it is time for you to create and truly discover a magical life. Welcome back to A Magical Life. I'm your host, Magic Barclay, and today Inesa joins us. Inesa is the visionary founder and CEO of Nesa's Hemp, the world's first ever full-spectrum CBDa oil. It is created through a unique process that she developed herself, which preserves all of the healing compounds of the hemp plant. This brings optimal healing and restores the body to its natural state. As a renowned expert in the field of hemp and CBD, as well as a caring holistic healer who is actively changing lives, her mission is to revolutionize and empower people to heal and live well by transforming concepts of health and the healing power of pure hemp and CBDa. Inesa's journey with hemp and CBD began when she received a call from her mother telling her that she had cancer and only 6 months left to live. Heartbroken but determined, she travelled the world on a mission to find natural ways to overcome her health condition. That is when she discovered that the hemp plant is known to be a miracle plant. However, when she met with the highest quality hemp producers in the US, she realized that none of them had a high quality hemp product. She knew what she had to do. After facing many challenges, she was able to create a product for her mother and subsequently other people around the world, an effective alternative health solution. 5 years ago, her mother was given 6 months to live. Today, she is cancer-free and enjoying a happy, healthy and fulfilling life. Leading by example, Inesa hopes to show the CBD industry and the world the power and magic of truly pure hemp and make it accessible so people can truly make the world a better place. Welcome, Inesa.
Thank you so much for having me here today.
I'm really excited to have you here. I say this a lot and the listeners will go, wow, she gets excited a lot. But CBD is something that I guess has never been truly harnessed for all it can be. And there's multiple reasons behind that, which we'll get into shortly. But CBDa, tell us quickly, what is CBDa?
Quickly, I think the answer would be it's something what people not supposed to know about. And again, pharmaceutical and drug companies put their hands on that specific topic, which is completely essential to our bodies. And except the one little detail that is a big detail that they misguided us completely on the CBD products, and majority of people, especially in the United States, it's a fact because I live here, people truly have no idea that the CBD is not even the particle or compound from the plant, and it's a drug and pharmaceutical version. And I would be very happy to explain that.
Great. We'll get more into that during this podcast. But I ask all of my guests the same 3 questions, and everyone gives me different answers, which is great. And I'm really looking forward to your take on them. So here comes your first one. And that is, what can your expertise do to accelerate health, not just physical health, but also emotional and spiritual health?
So far, based on me working with hundreds, not of thousands of people across the globe, what we able to achieve of my knowledge and sharing my knowledge, we gave people freedom, and there is no fear to disease. And that's probably the most beautiful and empowering moments to me, where I know when these people are empowered with knowledge and they start practicing what we highly educate on, there's nothing more powerful than see people being empowered, free, health-wise, their mental well-being, and it's definitely one of those things that I'm really, really enjoying it. Educating people to become free and to become absolutely empowered within their own bodies.
Great. We cover wealth here as well. People think wealth is just the financial, but it can also be personal and emotional wealth. So, what are your top 3 tips to creating wealth?
You would be surprised, and I do interview like a top people in the country myself. I have some mentors and friends, and some of them are in billion-dollar positions. So these people do choose priority as a health in order to receive wealth. The interesting thing myself, especially my Regenesis coaching programs, I noticed that every time we truly, truly detox people from all their symptomatic diseases, all these people become very powerful. And at the same time, they just simply know what to do with the finances. They have a direct source, God telling them where to go, what to do, and how to actually become financially free. So I personally, if I would want to focus on my own finances, I would start focusing on my own health, because from the moment there's no, you call those parasites and dark, and lower frequencies, from the moment they no longer controlling your body, you become a powerhouse, including not just your relationships, not just your health, but also your finances. You truly, truly know how to make money. And it's a beautiful, powerful thing to see. So wealth is, I totally agree, it's one of the most powerful things we can help people to create through their health.
And our final standard question is around weight. Many people battle their weight, kind of spend their whole life on the weight loss roller coaster. We know stress is a big part of that. Have you ever battled your weight? If so, how did you win the war? But even if you haven't, what can you offer the listeners who might be on this roller coaster journey at the moment?
It's actually really funny you ask me that, because at the moment in my life, I'm really trying to step back, and after 6 years working, and my 6 years is different than someone else's 6 years, because I worked anywhere from 17 to 22 hours a day on average, 7 days a week, deleted my birthday, make sure nobody bothers me so I don't have to respond people text messages, from social media and stuff like that. I truly, truly dedicated myself for this world and people, because I knew what's coming in this world. And our current events, the ones that are about to show up in the fall and winter. So I was in such a major rush to save everybody, to help as many people as possible. And yes, I did overstress myself, because there's a lot of pressure in me, since, you feel like you have a knowledge, you have all the expertise, and you can help people. So it's like a big burden on your shoulders. So I did burn myself, I would say, in the last 6 or someone else 12 years. So with that being said, I personally think, and what I'm doing in myself is I'm taking a break in terms, I'm setting up boundaries, and I'm realizing this is really hurting me at the moment. And I need to, in order for me to save the big picture and to help as many people as possible, I have to be alive, I have to be healthy, and I have to stop stressing. So with that being said, just setting up the boundaries and setting up yourself and committing yourself with 2 to 3 exercise per day, whatever the exercise, if it's breathing, if it's a supplement that you do daily to calm yourself down, it's a must. It's a must.
Okay. Now, the world's gone crazy the past few years. I'm just going to say that no matter what you believe, there's an extent of you're right. Even if you believe everything the media are saying, there's some fathom of truth there. So no one's wrong. I'm just putting that out there. But we seem to be on a journey of, I guess, fear porn, Inesa. Like in the mainstream media, we're hearing a lot about we need to be scared of this and we need to do that. And, there's so much that we're being fed daily. And yet no one's really looking at how to naturally achieve optimal health, how to naturally work with the systems of the body to really unleash our physical potential. I know that you're exploring this in a big way, and there's a lot more ahead of us in general as a species, as a worldwide population. What are things that you see that people need to be watching out for? I know in my own practice, I see overprescription of toxic medications. I see medical gaslighting, medical misdiagnosis or too much diagnosis, polydiagnosis. What are some things that you're seeing that maybe the listeners need to be aware of now? And, what can they do about it?
First of all, yes, we do have more than we need misdiagnosis, and it's done by design. And of course, the whole country and the world needs to follow one and the same protocol, which is drugs, drugs, and drugs. And if you don't follow that protocol as a doctor, as an MD, most likely you're risking to lose your license. So these doctors, the ones that even would like to help you, they really not allowed to. And if they're willing to help you and risk their license, which is I know a few of them, they would be scared or terrified. And, so it's a very tricky situation, right? So that means we kind of want to trust these people, which is doctors, but at the same time, like they're not allowed to tell us. And if they're willing to tell us, they're risking, and there's a lot of stuff going on. So that's number one. That means if you're getting misdiagnosed, what I would say first, really visit multiple doctors, multiple opinions. And you would be surprised. Each doctor has a little bit different diagnosis. And even those regular Western medicine doctors, right? So now you really start questioning things. The second thing is, what I would say is, yes, we know immune system is something, when it starts collapsing, we start having a trouble, to fight, infections and all kinds of things in the body. That's what we had to go through in the last couple of years. So they don't want you to empower that system in your body, but this is your job to do that. But the problem is, what I see in lately that nobody really talks about, that we have a lot of technology involved in our bodies. And I'm talking about the smart dust coming actually from the planes that is activated through the 5G, and of course, if you have a metals exposure to the metals, which is most of us do, these actually toxins are hiding under these metals. So they have this little shield, metallic shield in your body, and now they're causing you a problem. Even if you go to the holistic doctor, keep in mind, no matter how we don't like to hear that, we are still biological beings, but we are getting mutated with technology at the moment, sadly, but this is very truth. So there's nano, and you can't deal with nano just with herbs or plant medicine, no matter how badly I love the plant medicine, but you really have to work with somebody and be aware that you're no longer dealing just with symptomatic disease and things like that. You're just dealing also with technology that we've been exposed to, especially here in the United States. So you have to really have a few experts working with you to recognize where the issue is. I think I want people to be aware of that. People should be really, really cleansing themselves from technology and also from the all kinds of type of symptoms and infections and increasing their immunity.
Okay, so we're taught to fear pathogens, but what we're not taught is how powerful the body is, the endocannabinoid systems within the body, all of the body systems. How can we best harness those in this fight that we have ahead of us?
So if there's any listeners at the moment that thinking that hemp or cannabis is actually bad for you, I kind of agree with you, but then at the same time, I really disagree with you. And here's the difference. First, I really would like to clear that message. The hemp plant that we actually had and been growing on this earth until last 70 years has nothing to do with high THC, smokables, making yourself high, destroying your brain, and really losing your mind on all these high THC level products everywhere in the United States right now, which is really drives me nuts to see that, because this is wrong. But what they don't tell us, they kind of promoting a bad version, mutated, genetically engineered version of very innocent plant. So the innocent plant does not have high THC levels, and in fact, doesn't have CBD levels. The innocent plant does have actually CBDa, THCA, CBGA, all the acidic cannabinoids. Those acidic cannabinoids, it's something what our body is already producing. So when we are born, we have those endocannabinoid system in our bodies, and we producing cannabinoids. And that system is fully responsible to regulate all our systems in the body, including central nervous system. So CBD, it's the second version of the plant. CBD is a pharmaceutical version of the plant, and CBD can be patented and owned by somebody. So that means they don't want us to know about CBDA, the real version, original version of the plant. And because this part of the plant cannot be patented just like apple or spinach. So because it belongs to us, it belongs to you guys, to people, and it belongs to our health. But the trickiest part here, what I see right now, and especially President Biden not regulating the industry, I see fully crimes against humanity, and I'm very happy to explain why. This plant, the real version of the plant, is essential to our bodies to function, just the way we need air in order to breathe. So now, what happens is, Mr. President Biden at the moment, he's saying he will regulate the industry and we're going to make it federally legal, but he's saying it's still illegal. That means something what's essential to your body, something what belongs to your body, something what you need in order to function, because you lose these cannabinoids as you get older, because you're exposed to oxidative stress, you're exposed to toxins, you're exposed to everything. Now your government tells you you're not supposed to put that in the body. Wait a minute. It's part of me. It's part of my body. And I'm not supposed to put that in my body in order for me to function? Sadly, there's a lot of misguidance in the industry, and they wanted to people know about the CBD, because the CBD industry is something you can control. It's a drug. It's not even it's actually patented as a drug for epilepsy. So it's not natural version of the plant. It's a drug. It's written on Google. Even Google doesn't lie on that part. So with that being said, nobody talks about CBDA, THCA that does not make you high. It really supports your entire endocannabinoid system, your entire central nervous system. It's something what is so essential to you and your body for you to be fulfilled, healthy, and empowered with your immunity. So that's probably the main take on I would want people to know and understand the difference on CBD and CBDA and why government is doing that, because they simply want to control the market again.
I think that's a really important distinction, that it cannot be patented like apple or spinach. So, yeah, I love how you explained that. So people are looking for better ways to boost their health, better ways to increase their wealth, and better ways to control the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous systems, possibly to keep their weight in control. What can CBDA do, you mentioned that it taps straight into the nervous system. How does it do that? What's the mechanism of action that it can really help us with this very important system of the body?
So the central nervous system is responsible to really regulate us, right? To keep us healthy. So I think what they're not telling us, especially with CBDA, the reason why we don't have enough information is just because they don't want people and scientists to focus on the CBDA. Because from the moment everybody will know about the CBDA, that's the moment where the pharma is going to lose the battle. And the only one top research it came out where the CBD was highlighted for the first time ever in the world when we had the last starting the C mutation happening 2 years ago, worldwide event. And when Nesa's hemp was called out as the first product in the country, because we have the CBDA. So based on the research, what happened in Oregon University, they discovered that CBDA helps to protect spike proteins with that specific mutation we had happening 2 years ago, that was worldwide event. So what it does, CBDA helps you to protect spike protein of that specific mutation to enter your body. And that was only one time when CBDA, it became popular. That was exactly a year and 2 months ago. Before then, pharma did whatever it takes. Make sure nobody does any research, nobody does the studies, make sure nobody understands how CBDA works. But from now on, we're seeing more and more research coming out and scientists putting hands on CBDA and CBD companies actually turning into CBDA. It's just because it's been known way more powerful, way more effective, and way more regulating your entire body and your systems. So I probably would have a hard time to really telling you the details because we're waiting ourselves for the details. But with that being said, I'm sure the science is going to pick up because the voice is already out there. And I personally did the interview with the major media, and I know the truth is coming for the plant and for the people.
Fantastic. Now, we've covered a fair bit here today, Inesa. Is there something we haven't covered that you feel the listeners need to hear?
What I would like to say, I just want to empower people. My main reason actually talking and sharing the message with you, also, I want to empower people. I want to empower people that do not give up on yourself. You know better. You know to look for answers. And if you ever really take care of your health, please don't forget to do the detoxes. And if you go through the detox, just cleanse yourself and go deep. Don't do like a month detox. Don't get sold for those marketing companies and, supplement companies where they tell you they're going to detox you in a month or something. It takes you 30, 50 years to fill, the glass full of toxins. So it's not going to happen over a month. Just please start taking care of yourself because the hard times is ahead of us. The main event of the world is about to show up, the main reason why this whole thing happened in the first place. So I don't want you to be scared. I want you to be empowered. I want to focus on your health. I want you to know that you're not alone. You also have a lot of people who's doing the same thing. And if you guys ever need anything, I'm just here to support as much as I can and to help as much as I can.
Thank you. Now, people can find you on Facebook and Instagram at Nesa Hemp. You also have a YouTube channel. Before I let you go, we love freebies. What can you offer the listeners? And is it on your Facebook or Instagram?
We are actually, that's a good one. We are actually changing right now our pricing and we're changing manufacturer. We're moving in a different state. So at the moment, we're going through major changes. So our pricing will be changing by end of the summer. So at the moment, we have a Nesa's 25 as a first-time buyer, a 25% coupon. But with that being said, we're going through major changes, so we don't have to apply the coupons, and the price is actually good for everybody. So no coupons needed. So I really don't know at the moment with the free anything free at the moment because, as I said, we're going through major transformation ourselves.
Fair enough. Okay, thank you so much, Inesa, for joining us. Just some parting words about hemp.
Hemp is something what belongs to us. I would say don't get scared. It's a beautiful plant, and I empower people to grow at home, to have their own supplies. If you can't, you're welcome to purchase healthy products. That is the most certified products in the country, which is Nesa's, Nesas, nesashemp.com. You're definitely going to have peace of mind, but it belongs to you. And you can empower yourself. And I just encourage everyone to fight for this plan because we need this to be regulated and legal for all of us.
Thank you so much for sharing such an important message. And listeners, thank you for your time. I hope you got a lot out of this episode. And for now, go forth and create your magical life. Thanks for listening today. Please subscribe to hear future episodes, leave a review, and share this podcast. Drop us a line at A Magical Life Podcast on Facebook and let me know what you would like to know more about. You can find us on Instagram at Holistic Natural Health, that's holistic with a W, or at www.holisticnaturalhealth.com.au. That's where you'll access all sorts of articles, freebies, and more.